Hello, welcome to Tim's Chefy Tips. Now, what do you do when you get stale bread? I'm going to show you how to make bread pudding. Typically English or typically British, we don't like to throw away our bread. So what I do over the weeks, I collect like crusts of bread or the end bit if we haven't managed to eat it before it started to go dry, and I freeze it. Okay, and then at the end of the month or so, I've collected enough bread. So what I've done is, this is all defrosted bread. I've torn it up. Okay, so I have that size tin. That will probably be just about enough. And then we need to flavour it. So we put like sultanas. I'm going to put some raisins. And then we put some allspice. We sweeten it with brown sugar. And for that size tin, as I made this before, I'm going to use 4 whole eggs into that. So some recipes say that you need to soak your bread in milk. The thing is, in my opinion, that's a waste of milk because all you're doing is squeezing it out. So according to an old Italian chef that I worked with many years ago, he just used water. So I'm going to make this really wet, and I'm soaking it down. Doesn't matter how much water you put into it, because basically you're going to squeeze it out. Right, I've just about covered it. I'm going to leave that there for a moment now. It doesn't take long for the bread to start glugging up the water. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a fistful and I'm squeezing out the water like that and putting it in the colander. So I've squeezed up all the water out of the bread there, and now I'm going to add the flavouring. Now I've got some currants here. With anything like this, you put in as much as you want. There's no sort of 2 ounces of this and 2 ounces of that. This is if you like currants, then put loads of them in. I like sultanas, so I'm going to put loads of them in. Right, so that's what I think in there. And then again with the allspice, I like the allspice, not the old spice. I just mix a bit of that. Right, and now I need to add sweetness. Now the sweetness in this case is brown sugar, and we can be quite generous with this. So I'm putting 2 spoonfuls in there because I've got a sweet tooth. Right, now we just mix that all in. Give it a good mix, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste it to see whether I've got enough spice and enough sugar. I just take a little bit there. It needs some more sugar and some more spice. Another one of brown sugar. You can use any brown sugar, whether it's soft or not. Right, okay, so we're giving this a bit of a mush up. And what holds it all together when you bake it is the eggs. So that's 4 eggs for this size tin. So I always use my hands. That's it. Give it a good mix up. Squidge it. The oven is on. I've put the oven on. It's fan assisted. It is on 180. This may take up to 3/4 of an hour, but we will test that. Now, my experience tells me I've put enough egg in there now. So that was probably 3 eggs, so I won't need that last egg. And then I will tip it into a greased tin. Make sure it's well mixed up. Pop it in like that. Pat it down. And then I sprinkle a little bit of sugar over the top. I'll put it in my hand. Put it in my hand. Then I can make sure it goes over everything. Pat it down into the corners like that. And then I'm going to pop it in the oven. Right, the bread pudding has had an hour or just under. So if you look here, I'll bring it out. There we go. Bread pudding, like my grandma used to make. So what we've got Granny's bread pudding with a lovely espresso. Enjoy.